I'm just taking out the rubbish. The story that I'm going to tell today is a Grimm's classic, and it's one of his more underrated ones. The first storyteller I heard tell it, because I've heard it a few times, was a great man called Shane Ibbs, and he's released lots of stuff during this lockdown. He may have even released this story, so I'll share him down below. I learnt this for an event called Twisted Tales that Spinning Yarns did. There were once 3 inhabitants of a cottage in the woods. These were Bird, Mouse, and Bird and Mouse lived with another. I wonder if anyone could guess who it is. Whilst you're sitting at home, think Bird and Mouse. Who would they be associated with? The answer is Sausage. And Bird, Mouse and Sausage lived very happily for many, many years, because they each had their own job to do. Bird would fly out to the middle of the woods and collect the best wood for the wood on the fire. Mouse would fetch the water from the well, and Sausage would cook a fine dinner for them all to eat at the end of the day. And this is how things went for many years. One day, Bird was out flying in the middle of the woods when he heard a sound. Hoo! 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 Who do you think you are, you mug? What? It was Owl. You're here, getting the wood every single day, doing a really hard job, and the others back at home, they're doing simple tasks. You're getting the raw end of the deal. Bird thought about what Owl said, and he picked up the wood and he flew back, but before he went into the house, he looked through the window. Through one window was Mouse, sound asleep, hadn't moved all day. Another was Sausage. All the cupboards were open, spices and vegetables were everywhere, and there was the pot, and in the pot was Sausage, swimming around, having a brilliant old time. And Bird thought of a plan. They all ate as they did that evening, and Bird ate in silence. The others knew that there was something wrong with him, but didn't think it best to ask. At the end, Bird stood up. Tomorrow, we're going to do things differently. You, Sausage, you're going to do my job. You're going to go out and get the best wood for the fire. Mouse, you're going to do Sausage's job. You're going to cook a great meal for us, and I'm going to do your job. The others thought this was a bit strange and out of character, but they didn't question it too much. So the next day came, and Sausage was the first awake, and he left the house, and the other 2 were sound asleep, Bird having his first lie-in ever. Sausage was quite excited. He doesn't get to go out much. The fresh air, all the wonders of the world waiting for him. He began to run down the road, for you see, he couldn't fly like Bird, so he had to go a different way. And as he was running, he saw and heard in the distance a dog barking and wagging his tail, and Sausage went over to greet the dog, and dog greeted Sausage by eating him. Back at the house, Mouse was just starting to stir. He went down to the cupboards and began looking and wondering what he could cook for them that evening. You see, Mouse hadn't told anyone, but he actually used to be a chef in a restaurant called Gusto's. So he got everything, remembering how he could make all the dishes with all the vegetables that they had, and he started to throw them into the pot, and he stirred the pot, and it's okay, but it needs something else. What is it that Sausage always puts into the pot? What does Sausage put into the pot? He puts the tomatoes and the cucumber and the spices. He puts himself. Yes, Sausage. goes and swims about, so perhaps I could do that. I mean, I don't know if mouse will taste as good as sausage, but it's worth a go. So he stepped on the edge of that pot and he looked down at all the bubbling brew, and he thought he should say something poetic. He couldn't think of anything, so he jumped into that steaming hot with stew and completely burnt poor Mouse. Mouse was Ratatouille. Bird woke up, having a great lie-in, felt so energised. Started looking around, wondering if Sausage was back with the wood. Sausage! Sausage! No noise. How was Mouse doing with the cooking? Mouse! Mouse! Ah. He thought he'd go to the kitchen and have a look at what was being created, and the pot was there. It smelt lovely. He glanced inside and everything looked... There were some hairs. He thought he should probably tell Mouse there's some hairs. Mouse! Mouse, there's some hairs in this. Mouse! Mouse, these hairs... You've dropped some hairs. These hairs are your hairs. Mouse! As he realised what had happened, he began to flap. And he flapped and flapped, but the pot was on an open flame. So the fire started to spark out all around him. And as he flapped, he got more and more frantic until he had to fly out of a window. And as he looked back, the kitchen was on fire. Water! We need to go and get some water. So he flew over to the well, but he hadn't asked Mouse how to get the water from the well. I could use my beak. Yes, I could put the water in my beak, throw it. Great. So he flew down the shaft, but he didn't notice at the top of the well, a bucket was balanced precariously on the edge. He flew down and he hit the water and he began slurping up some of the water to carry it in his beak. And the bucket began to fall and smacked him on his head. Now, I'm not sure if the impact of the bucket killed him or he drowned in the water. But Bird was no more. There were once 3 inhabitants of a small cottage in the woods. The cottage is just ash, and those 3 have not been seen for a long time.